Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still working on this John Deere riding mower. It's a 145 series. It says it's a 100 series, but it's a 145 specifically. It's 48-inch cut. It's got a 22 horsepower V-twin Briggs & Stratton engine. And what happened, I was trying to increase the RPM on it. I did it the wrong way, and I had a disastrous result. The good thing is the engine's still fine, but here's the results of what I did. And I'll tell you here in just a minute what I've done. But this right here, this is a part of the governor, the made part, I believe. And then these are the weights. And there's one pin, and there's a whole bunch of broken pieces right here. And there's a couple of pieces I accidentally threw away. And that pin right there, that holds the whole thing onto this shaft right here. Oops, let me get my finger out of the way. Goes on that right there. Excuse me. Anyway, what I need to do now is just order me a new governor for it, and I can put it all back together. But what I did, I was trying to increase the engine RPM, and I didn't realize it until after I messed with the governor that you're not supposed to do that. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use governor springs. Now, if I don't know if you can see them very well down in here, there's two of them. There's a bigger spring here. That's the high RPM spring, and this one is the idle RPM spring. That's supposed to help bring it back to idle when you reduce the throttle on the engine. And then the big spring, that controls the maximum RPM that the engine can run. And I found out something a little odd about these things is they can actually run up to about 38 to 4,000 RPM. And this is what the insides of them look like. Now, if I'd have been smart, I would have taken the spark plugs out so I could crank the engine over for you and show you what it's like. But I didn't do that, so I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But this right here, that's just a place for oil to go, I guess. But the engine's upside down right now, so when it's upside down compared to what it is now, that's the way it normally runs. But anyway, because I tried to turn the RPM up the wrong way, this was the result. This piece here, as you can tell, it broke. There's supposed to be a pin in there, and I guess the pins are supposed to hold the weights. And then the weights got mangled up, and they were floating around in there. And even though I didn't hear it, I knew something wasn't right because I couldn't get the engine speed to come back down. So I'm just going to order a new governor gear, a new gasket, and then put the thing back together. I may go ahead and get a new oil seal for it as well. But this is what's called the sump, the oil sump. So this right here, I'm going to clean this up. And this is part of the governor right here. It pushes against this piece here on the governor. And as the RPM increases, these flyweights push it out, push against this to slow down the engine. It pushes against it this way to slow down the engine. Now, it doesn't, you can tell how much it moves right there, but this does not have that much movement in it because of the springs and the arm right here, the springs, the arm, and then it's also connected to the throttle on the carburetor. I had to take the carburetor off to get all that stuff loose so I could get this thing apart. But people learn from my mistakes. I screwed up, and there's plenty of places on the internet that tell you how to do this. Terrell Fixes All, that guy's a great guy. He knows what he's talking about, and he was the one that I was watching one of his videos after it was too late, figured out what I had done that screwed things up. But he tells you don't do this, and he don't even tell you how to turn them up. But they do have a chart for different colored springs for this one, and I don't know what the RPM range is, but it's green, so I don't know. but it's got like, oh gosh, it's got like 6 or 7 different springs you can go to. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just wanted to show you this right here is for the oil pump. That's another thing. Terrell said you need to take those out before you put it back in because it goes into the camshaft. He says trying to put the cover back on and getting everything lined up is very difficult. It's easier just take the oil pump out the backside, and after you get the cover on, then put the oil pump back together, and then you can put the drive shaft in here and everything should be fine after that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got to say. I've made a heck of a mess out of this, but I always wanted to see the inside of one. Now that I see it, and if you look, these right here, I'll point to them with my screwdriver. These right here, these are the lifters, and I think this is cylinder 2 and this is cylinder 1, or I might have it backwards. I can't remember. Anyway, but see, these are. Let me see if I can get a light down here. There you go. That might help a little bit. Okay, these are the lifters for this cylinder. And then these are the lifters. I don't know. There you go. The lifters and push rods for the other cylinder. It's really pretty interesting. I don't know how much time it took them to come up with this stuff, but one thing I did do, I've got a little magnet right here, and if I put this magnet into the cylinder, it'll actually stick to the cylinder. And I'll show you. See, that's the rod. Doesn't stick on the rod. Well, let me put some light on it. There's the cylinder. And I can put this down here and it sticks to the cylinder. So that's got a cast iron cylinder on it. Excuse me. Well, that's all there is, folks. I hope you learned from my mistake, because I was too dumb to learn it the right way. Have a good day. Thank you.